Alright, number 5, part 5. Starting off with the ball connectors. Trying to jump right in, keep these videos short and sweet. You can see there's 8 of them. Bam, look at that. That came out good. And now, obviously, these are for the shocks. They go in the front and the rear, and there's a few positions for them. I'm going to go with the factory setting for right now. Everything I'm going to keep factory. Little handy dandy cross wrench they give you. Make sure you check the size so you don't strip these bad boys out. And once you try and put them in all 4 sides, you'll figure out real quick. It's this one right here. But it looks like they go the front. Oh, wait. Yeah, the front. They go in the bottom ones. There's only 2 positions. And they have them in the bottom. As always, be careful not to strip it, cross-thread it if the thread's already in there. So you can see it right there. Make sure that's nice and level. It's the first time I'm using a wrench like this, and it's actually pretty sweet. I have a socket set, but this is definitely much nicer. So you know you're not overkilling it. Run those all the way in, all 8 of them, 4 on the front, 4 on the rear. I'm not going to show all 8, but keep running that bad boy in. Check on it, make sure. Just snug, no need to over tighten, no need to kill it. Boom. Again, take your time when you're screwing all this stuff in, man. If you strip that hole out you're screwing these into, or any of the other screws, you're gonna have a tough time. You could, you know, if that does happen to you, you could try putting some Loctite on it and getting it in there snug, and then just leave it. If that doesn't work, you may have to run to your local hobby shop or hardware store and go bring one of the screws with you and go up a size. Depending where it's going into, that could work. You'll have to be very gentle with it, and if it'll fit, you don't have to modify anything. So just be real careful. These are small screws, small parts. No need to crank down crazy. And then on the bottom, they go in the top holes from the factory. That's what it's showing. I'm sure once you guys put this together, get it running, you know, you may want it a different way. See, these want to screw in goofy. They want to screw in cockeyed. So just be really careful with that. Always start them by hand, and then go with the tool. I know I mentioned in one of my other videos, I hope it's cool to shout some guys out that I've watched that kind of gave me the confidence to do this, or that have really good channels, a lot of info. OMGRC, Joe over there, Earl Moorhead, especially if you're trying to get into drag racing. I just locked myself up a Low C 22S, the Summit. So I've been watching his. I also have a Slash, thinking about converting, and Earl's got dope content. I mean, he breaks everything down. Another good guy to watch, especially if you're into like 10th scale or that kind of size vehicles, is 10th Scale Garage. I watch a lot of his stuff. I don't comment a lot. I've been trying to a little bit more. I kind of just watch and go about my day, but you know, these guys really go out of their way and make a lot of good content. So I'm trying to, I always make sure to throw a thumbs up. Trying to comment a little bit more myself. Just to let them know, hey, people are out here and appreciate it. Alright, that's the 4 on the front. Now the rear, telling you the same thing. The inside hole on the top and on the bottom holes go in the top ones. You can see that. They're up here. Again, take your time threading these in. Also, I know the body that comes with this is, just a clear Lexan. Got to do your own thing, sticker it up, paint it up. I've been getting into airbrushing. I've done maybe half a dozen bodies. Haven't ever posted on YouTube, but thinking about maybe posting a little bit. Not a step-by-step. I am a very amateur airbrush kind of guy, just learning it myself. But for me, it's a lot of fun, and it's more than just doing RC bodies. You can airbrush shirts, shoes, painting. If you're into that kind of thing, you can really get into a lot of different stuff with that. So I'm a big fan of that. If you guys would like to see them, like I said, it won't be a step-by-step how-to airbrush. Just be kind of me slapping some paint on there, some different designs. Now number 8. Would have been nice if they gave you a few extra ball bearings, but I do only see 8 in there. So just be gentle with them. They are metal. So they're not, too delicate. Alright, that's all 8. Boom. Ball bearings done. Next up, the damper assembly. So this will be cutting into the shocks. Gonna have to cut some bags open here. Oh, no. Stay shut. In the trash box. Alright, a lot of little parts with these. These are definitely not your X-Max shocks or, Creighton, Team Corrali, Jambos. Definitely not like that. Size-wise. Much, 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 much smaller. But it looks like Q1, Q3, Q1, 2, and 3. So the cool thing is they come separate. So that's 1 damper assembly, 2, and then you got 2 more over here. So they all come separate, which is pretty cool actually. That makes things quite a bit easier. Gonna need all these little O-rings. They do throw you some shock oil. Looks like here, Tamyia damper oil they call it. So I do have some silicone, but I'm gonna, again, keeping everything stocked. And then, once I ride it for a while, see how it is, I'll adjust it from there. And you're gonna need a bunch of these tiny, tiny little E-clips, which I really like. I mean, I think they hold things together well. But when you're taking them apart and trying to work on them, they're so easy to bend or lose. Probably a good idea to maybe grab you can go to local hobby shop or hardware store if they have this size and grab, a dozen of them just to have as spares. Would be a good idea. So we need Q1 and 3 first. So before I take this apart and build it, I'm going to take all 4 apart and trim those tabs off. This way, once I see how to build one, I can just go right down the line. One thing I may think about, especially if I upgrade the motor on this bad boy, is getting all aluminum shocks with the shafts aluminum and everything. But we'll see. I have heard pretty decent about these. They're not terrible. They are upgraded from the regular TT02 kit. They are all plastic, and they do not have the ball bearings. They have bushings. So even if you're not going to drift, at least from what I was told, again, this is my first kit, that was the main difference between the TT02 and the TT02D. The drift spec that I got was it comes with ball bearings and aluminum shocks. Of course, it comes with drift tires, but I picked up a regular set of on-road tires for inexpensive. This way I can do both. It also came with a light kit, which I think is pretty cool. That'll be my first light kit. I do have a light bar. I plan on putting on a bigger monster truck I have, so it'd be cool to maybe hook this light kit up first and see how it all goes together. Oh, missed it.
Cold.
It's getting chilly.
Temperature dropped outside too. Like drastically. I forgot coffee.
All these little tabs gets a little tedious, but it is worth it. I don't know if they're really going to affect anything other than, you know, it'll look a little bit nicer when it's all said and done. Some of the areas they may catch. So that's why I recommend taking them all off. One of those things where you're going to get out what you put in. You know, if you put the time in, do the kit right, do it nice, take those little extra steps, you're going to be that much happier with the end result. Out of all the vehicles I have, the Jambo, I got Team Corrales, I got a couple Red Cats, Traxxas. Actually building this is got to be one of the coolest things. I mean, I haven't even completed it or ran it or anything yet, and it's still awesome. So now that we got that done, looks like you're going to take 2 of the MB10s, these little red O-rings. Very hard to see, but you need 8 of them, and you're going to put 2 in each damper. Stuff them in the bottom like so, and then screw the cap on. Make sure they're in there nice, you know, they don't flip. Make sure they don't flip around on you or anything. You should be able to see straight through, and you know you got it good. So I'm going to do that to all 4 and get these O-rings off the workbench so I don't lose any at the same time. Alright, those 4 are done. On to the next. Looks like MB5 and V10. MB5. Have not seen MB5 yet. Interesting. They were in that bag of the screws. They're metal. That right there. And there should be 4 of those MB5, the piston rods. And V10. Looks like you're going to need V10, you're going to need 4 of them. And believe it or not, they almost look the same. If you see, there's 3 of them. But only one is 10. You got 8, 9, and 10. So make sure you take 10. And it's going to be 4 different parts trees you're going to have to get those from. Is what I'm gathering. Yep, make sure it's got 3 holes in it. 9 has 2, 8 has 1. So 4 of the V10, 3 holes. And carefully take the tabs off these. Obviously you don't want to mess these up. But you want them to be smooth. be careful not to take a big chunk out of it. Just a slight trim. And if you twist these, it'll, when you take them off, if you twist them instead of just bending back and forth, for me at least, it seemed to get most of it off. Except on this one. That looks good. Boom, perfect. Now it looks like take the piston rod, and V10 and pop that on, and then you're gonna put two of those E-clips, the MB7s, one in front and one in back. So you might want to put that one in back on first. Oh man. Jeez, just to try and hold these things is tough. Now these are going to be a pain in the neck to get on. Trying to see if there's a easier way. Pushing them on by hand is not very easy. Wow. There we go. I used the rubber part of my screwdriver. It almost cut into the rubber actually, but it snapped on. So just make sure you put everything the right way. It doesn't look like they have a directional for this V10, so it just slips on. And then throw that second E-clip. If I can keep it in my hand for a second. Ah, come on. These are tough. If anybody has a little secret tricks or tips in the comments, by all means, let us know. Let us noobs know. Woohoo. Still didn't get it. Alright. No lie, these things suck. Probably gonna need like a flathead screwdriver maybe to push these on. see here. Man. And it fell off. See, I grabbed a pair of needle nose. I don't have a smaller pair, so I hope these aren't too big, but oh man, come on. They're just so stinking small. And you don't want to mess that plastic piece up. Got a flat head and a pair of needle nose. Let's see. Wow, really? Man, nothing I'm trying is getting these suckers on. Damn. Alright, that worked. That worked super easy. Pair of needle nose and just put it on one edge of the E-clip and then on the other end of the piston rod, and just it snapped in. Just trying not to damage them. Wow, was that a bear? One down, 3 to go. Hopefully these are a little easier. I'm gonna try the needle nose again. It seems to work. Pop that guy right up. Oh, maybe. Yeah, it looks like those needle nose are the way to go for this. Just gotta be really careful not to damage or bend them. Because there's not much forgiveness with them. Two down. As you can see with these needle nose, worlds easier. Just again, be very gentle. Watch that piston rod, you don't damage it or mar it. And I think we just, oh, look at that. Now folks, the awesomeness of having a beard. That thing flew, my beard caught it and held it. 3 down. I know these are taking long. Again, I wanted to show everything step by step. If you guys want to speed through it, you know, you might get them a little quicker than I do. No worries. No worries at all. Alright, that's all 4. There is 2 left over. They may be needed down the road. I'm not sure. I'm going to put them in my magnetic tray for later, just in case. Now this MB5 is going to go through that. Through that shock. And then it's going to go right through those 2 O-rings at the bottom with the disc facing up. And you're going to need V1. So I'm going to put all 4 of these together, marry them together, and then grab 4 V1s. That is the bottom part of the shocks. It's going to look like this. They stick out the bottom, they go right through those O-rings. And then V1. So we're gonna need 4 of those, 1 on each tree. Make sure you grab the right ones. I'll show you what they look like. 4 of them. That. And clean those tabs up. Now when you connect these, obviously they screw on, thread onto the bottom. It says, it shouldn't even need to say this, but obviously be careful not to mar the piston. If you do, it will not operate. It will not operate properly. So I would say hand tighten all 4, and then you can even use the needle nose to hold the piston rod, but I would get something to go over the teeth of the needle nose, a towel, a rag, piece of a towel, piece of a rag, something that'll keep from marring these pistons, because you only get 4, no spare. If you mar one and the shock does not work, it won't go up and down properly, you are out of luck, my friend. So what I'm gonna do, take a rag, maybe double it up, put these like that, push them down onto the teeth. Oh, see that? Grab that piston rod. That might not even work. Yeah, it's kind of slipping. I have to just, might not be able to double it up. Again, be very careful. Ooh, got a little scratch on it. Shit. Not real happy about that. Tiny little scratch on it, but listen, all that little scratch, that little imperfection in the metal can cut these O-rings, and you're done for. So keep that in mind. that in mind. Super gentle. Try to make sure they're all even too. That will matter. Make sure when you clamp down, kind of put a lot of pressure on that piston rod so it doesn't spin in the needle nose. That'll keep it from marring that metal. I think that's good. It looks like they put like a piece of paper in the directions, or it doesn't say, they just show covering the piston rod with something. You could do that too. I'm not sure, you know. Again, as always, if anybody has a better idea, better tricks, please mention it down below. You're not going to hurt my feelings. And if it can help somebody more, that's awesome. Now they're all together. Alright, I'm just going to extend this video and do these. This is just adding the oil to them, so I'm not going to, it's going to be a little difficult to do this on camera. I'm going to have to use my bench vise, which is not in the camera view, but you know, you pretty much pull the piston all the way down, and you can probably hold them in your hand. I'm just going to do one at a time. I don't know if I can pick that up really. See how small that is. That is the piston. Alright guys, I'm going to end this here. And then I'm just going to do a quick video on adding the oil to the shocks. That way, even if anybody's not doing a build and you just never added oil to your shocks before, be a good little tip. I know I had to add them to one of my other vehicles, and I did it all, put it all together, put the new oil in, leaking everywhere. Did not take the air out. That might not have been why they were leaking, but it didn't help. So stay tuned. Part 6, I think we're up to. And if you know, I guess I should say, if you liked it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. That's cool. All gravy, baby.